In section 1, we developed the concept of a mapping by using two sets and creating a correspondence between those two sets. And we further discussed the idea of the mapping by talking about the notion of the function. And the function is two specific types of mapping. It was the one-to-one and the many-to-one type mapping. In section 2, we're going to continue to talk about functions, specifically discussing the graphs of functions. Definition 2.1 gives a definition for what the graph of a function would look like. It says here, let f be a function with the domain of f being equal to a. So when we were creating our function definition, or really the mapping definition, we would always say first set, second set, and for a while we would just call the first set set A. But when we're dealing with the function, a function is said to have a particular domain. So we can actually say that set A is the same thing as the domain of that function. And it says here, then the graph of f is the set of ordered pairs given by, and this tells us how to create all of the ordered pair that we need for the graph. So let's elaborate a little bit on what this says. It says that your ordered pair are going to be created by using the x value for the first part, and then you'll use an f of x value for the second part. So in other words, you'll be selecting an x value and you'll be mapping it over to an f of x value, and that's what's going to provide you with an ordered pair. Now I picked x from the first set because this definition also says that x has to be an element from A, or from the domain of f. So as long as you select a value from the domain, you use it to then calculate your f of x value, then you put it together to make an ordered pair, and you'll do that for every possible value from the domain, and all the ordered pair together make your graph. It says here that the graph of f is the graph of the equation y equals f of x when plotted in a Cartesian coordinate plane. In the previous section, we would make a table, a t-chart, to help us organize what the sum of the ordered pair would look like. So we might see something like x, and then we would say f of x. So what this is saying is that we can also make a t-chart and call it x, and the second column we can just call y. So in other words, y is going to be equivalent to the notation f of x.